Welcome to this week's episode of SBXIV, the podcast about Final Fantasy XIV. I am your host today. Well, not really. I'm just doing the introduction. Calera. Today is Monday, August. Oh my gosh, it's August.
Already?
It is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Mind is blown. It's August 3rd, 2015. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. Yoshida, SAO, Sao. It's like a sour milk, but with Sword Art Online, I guess. I don't know. We have patch things to talk about, hairstyles and other things, crafting difficulties, and we have community spotlight on Eorzeaneats.tumblr.com. That's a mouthful. Oh, and we have a contest winner. So stay tuned. If you had entered the contest, then you can find out if you won a Topaz Carbuncle or not. But I'm going to introduce the rest of the people here today. We have Sir Rissian. Hey, what's up?
Hello from the floor of my apartment.
Your cat's pissed all over your chair, right?
All over it twice.
Fuck.
That chair is... yeah, it's a long fucking story, but yeah, that chair is now defunct. I've disposed of it, and I'm sitting on the floor.
That's not fun.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's really sad. So, if any of you are feeling particularly sorry for Circean and his chairless butt, did that come out right?
Sure.
then
my butt is sore.
I don't know. Send him some pity love. You know, he would love it. We also have with us our free company mate, Joe. Joishi, Jojo.
Hello.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's going, man. How are you?
Too warm.
And I know, right? It's too warm. Oh, it's too warm, but not as warm as the people who we're going to introduce who have come all the way from the podcast Whispering Dawn. I said that right? It's or is it Whispering Dawn, or is it the Whispering Dawn?
It's just Whispering Dawn.
Yes, I kind of, sort of, maybe not really got it correct.
Ding.
Yay, me! We have with us today Aerith, Demi P, and Kasumi. Hi!
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to hell.
It is hell in here. But you guys are like from... Well, I can't say that you're from hell, because that sounds really bad. But you're from really warm places that can be like hell.
It is hell.
See, it's okay
You don't gotta try to make it sound nice. It's the truth.
You can only call it where you
I'm trying to be
live.
a nice host. I mean, you're our guest, and so I should be...
Screw that. It's hell with a bunch of tourists.
I'm sure you have a lovely home by the Lake of Fire.
Not that bad. It's not that bad. I am from the home of... I am Breaking Bad. You know, I every week I go and I wash my car at the car wash. So, you know, it's not all bad. There's some good things here, you know.
So do you get to see, I don't know, maybe hot guys in their shorts washing their pants, or is it really gross men going, I'm washing my car?
A mixture.
You know, I'd have to say, by and large here, yeah, it's a mixture. It really is. There's a lot of hot people in New Mexico, though. There really is.
That's good to know, because
Yeah.
I'm afraid of seeing really scary things I shouldn't be seeing.
Anyway. Oh, they're here. They're still here.
Oh, yeah.
Hide your eyes, because they're still here. I think they're everywhere, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are. Which is why I try and stay away. And
Right, to stay inside.
Yeah, exactly. Stay inside where it's nice and safe. And you know, my brain is already bad enough. It doesn't need anything added to that kind of stuff.
Oh, then don't come to Florida.
No.
You got a mixture of fineness and horror, so you know it's a very, very complicated combination.
Like Florida Man, right? I mean, there's zombies there. Which
I mean, there's some, but we have some pretty darn good-looking people. I mean, they do a lot of car shows, so you get a lot of those guys out and gals. Um, it's a pretty good mix, I would say. But when you go to the beach, you're usually traumatized depending on the time of year you go.
well, if there's
about that here,
good-looking
we don't
zombie
have
men, I don't mind if they eat me. So there's that.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Well, then
yeah.
come visit.
We're
So I'm gonna let Sarisian take the floor here because I'm done doing the intro. Save my tongue.
Tongue,
for
tongue,
other
tongue, tongue,
things.
tongue.
Yeah, exactly. Tongue.
So yeah, it's been a little bit of time since we last casted, so we're gonna go over some older stuff. But the first thing that really stuck out was a really interesting Dengeki Online article with Yoshida-san and the Bandai Namco producer who will be working on the next SAO game, which is Futami Yosuke. And it's very interesting because you have a point of view of Yoshi, and we all know how he is. We all know how he runs this game, and he has all this massive experience in MMOs. And then you have Futami-san, who clearly is a little bit of a noob. He's very casual. He reminds me a lot of myself, actually. The more I read, I'm like, hey, I played RO. Hey, I don't play hardcore. I like you a lot.
I
But
just like the fact that he played RO.
yeah, and I hope he played a Crusader, because Crusaders were the best.
No, High Priest.
Okay, fair enough. Emmy was pretty cool. But they talk about a lot of elements of MMOs that I don't think a lot of people really pay attention to. Like, one of the first things that Yoshi ends up talking about is basically the chat functions. And a long time ago in games like Ultima Online and Ragnarok, less so Ragnarok, a lot of the speech bubbles were based only over your character. So it really required you to have proximity to people to kind of simulate that experience of conversation amongst people. With games now becoming more mainstream and MMOs and chat clients becoming more important, now you have the advent of chat channels, and there's kind of a division between players now, and people are able to talk across zones and whatnot, and you don't get the same level of camaraderie because of it.
I have to agree with that. I mean, yes and no. In Final Fantasy XI, I did a lot of talking, and that is where I actually had more of I can shout, I can do party chat, I can do link shell chat, and that was really great. But it does put a different feel to things when you have to be close to someone in order to talk to them. I remember in RO, it drove me crazy when I went out of screen from someone else I was talking to, and it's like, oh wait, I can't see what you're saying. That's too bad. Or maybe it's not. And
Well,
I'm
RL
just
also had that problem of the party chat rooms that were set up, and the millions of people kind of sprawled about with the bubbles over their head. AFK eating rice. Oh my god, ramen please.
Yes.
That was the awesomest, though.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna go bother Kasumi. Oh, Kasumi's eating ramen apparently. We can't go MVP now. Nom 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 nom.
And then you go in the bubble anyway, and you just put in various words and then leave.
Yeah, I've
Yes,
seen that too.
exactly.
I'm like, dude, the fuck, come back here. Let's go. Come on.
I know some people would do that to me when I had my chat room up. It's just like, I'm AFK, and people were like, come give me a heal, or I want to see your panties. I'm like, go away. Go away.
So aside from that chat mentality and division, there was actually a statement from Yoshi that I found very, very interesting. And it was basically, I do get the impression that the skill level of the average gamer is a bit higher in Japan, but that's about it when he was talking about the difference between foreign and domestic players. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that's
where we
actually
get
true?
our guild sellers from.
That's just repetition, though.
I think that's actually correct. I think there is I think the skill base is a little bit higher in Japan than it is here.
Now, here's the follow-up question to that, because he does talk about going with the flow in this article as well. And what I'm curious of is it skill-based, or is it the fact that because Westerners are much more individualized, and he does mention that as well, that it's harder for us to work in a cohesive manner because people are looking out for number one rather than looking out for the group? And in an MMO, it's a group-based game. So wouldn't that kind of lead to a better skill level because you're all kind of on the same page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that's what he's referencing, or are they talking about individual player skill level?
I think he's talking more about group level and being
Think
able
so.
to play as a group, because I mean, to be real, there's a lot of things you can't do unless you're with a group, whether it's a random group or people you know. The better you know them, the easier it is to get through things. So I think it's more group level instead of an individual level.
Well, and if I might comment on that a little bit,
Please.
ways it comes with my psychology degree and my knowledge.
Woo! Education hat. Let's go.
When you look at the cultural difference between, say, for example, Westernized or American culture versus Asian or Japanese culture, you're looking at an individualistic or a collectivistic culture, respectively. And so his perspective on that is going to be completely different than someone like myself who's American. I'm all about individualism. I'm all about what I can accomplish as myself. And for possibly his perspective is based upon what they can accomplish as a group and as a team, because what matters more to them than does to us is, the accomplishment of it as a group. So I kind of think that maybe part of that is, just cultural.
I'd almost guarantee it.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Siri.
So,
I think Japan's basically built around like social norm and conformity. So it almost makes sense that go with the flow, don't rock the boat, be part of the whole would work well in a party mentality.
right, and your group proud, make your community proud.
Exactly.
We have that same kind of a perspective. Our perspective is built a little bit more around what can you do for me and how can I make a name for myself within the community. And yeah, I'll team up, but I have to make sure that I get my benefit from it, So, and that's just my thoughts, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but maybe that's why his line of thinking kind of differs from ours, is because we're, different cultures.
But that also begs the question, if that's the mentality and everything, then is that what's actually killing MMOs right now, is the fact that everybody just wants to be individuals and want to do the content and feeds into the gimme type of state.
I think it
Well-
does.
I
Because, I mean, personally speaking, I would rather play with people and have it become a group effort. Like, ideally, I would be like, okay, well, this person needs to fix this person needs to fix that. And then that way, collectively, us as a group can move forward. I know not everyone thinks that way, which a lot of people are kind of like, well, you're bringing us down, you have to leave so we can bring someone else who can do better than what you can do, which doesn't really help. I mean, I guess it helps the person because, hey, then that person can go further and advance alongside with these other people who have the same interests, which, I mean, I guess is a group effort. It's like we're scratching each other's backs, but more in a selfish kind of way.
Yeah, no, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think that maybe the argument that a lot of people have with that is, I pay money for this game monthly. I have to work to afford my sub. So I want to make sure that I can get as much as I can out of it. And so I'm kind of curious if the experience is the same on the Japanese servers. I've never played on them, so I don't really, have a whole lot to say on whether there's a difference in the community there. But I can't imagine that there wouldn't be.
Well, that's actually very interesting because in the Japanese server, and this is one that's well known throughout Final Fantasy's community, is that the Japanese people use Duty Finder and Party Finder differently than we do. So
Okay.
in the West, on our servers here, you go to Party Finder to do your learning and your farm parties. And you go to Duty Finder, like, whenever. In Japan, it's actually the opposite. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I had that backwards. Japan is where you do your learning in Party Finder. All learning happens there, basically, because you want to get a group of people together, and you want to basically slam your face against it without feeling stressed. And Duty Finder is where high-level play happens, where you go in, you get your shit done, you get out. Mm-hmm. And it feels like those two setups kind of mirror like the East and West, where Party Finder is definitely more of a community, close-knit, repetitious, same face kind of deal. Whereas Duty Finder is, you get to go in, and Yoshi mentions this in this article, with the equivalent of 3 NPCs, and you get your shit done. So on the Japanese side, they do learning on Party Finder, and then they go to Duty Finder to be finished. But the US basically use Duty Finder for everything, because they want to get in, do what they need to do, be the most important person, get out. And I don't know about your servers, but my Party Finders on Excalibur, they're not super robust.
Very good. Well, they are for me. I mean, I'm on Cactar though, so Cactar is a pretty large server, and I feel like I've really built up a really strong community. You know, I have my free company that I've been running with a few of my friends for almost a year now, and you know, we've met and made a lot of contacts during that time. So for me, I guess maybe I don't experience that same kind of an issue of having a problem finding a party, because if I want a party, I've got a bunch of people out there that are more than willing to do it for me. But maybe that's because I've, I guess, kind of paid my dues and earned my keep. Mm-hmm. About it, and if you think a cultural perspective, you know, I've built my free company, I've done my networking, I've earned that right to ask these people, these well-known people on my server for help, and so I'm really curious to see, you know, is it different on a Japanese server because they're a different culture? Are people more helpful? Are, you know, do you not have to work so hard to get help and get patient help because it's just part of who they are to take things as a group? If that makes sense.
I remember back in Final Fantasy XI, of course, in Final Fantasy XI, they didn't have separate data servers. Everyone played on the same server. So you had the North Americans, the Europeans, and the Japanese all on one server. And during that time, I remember when I first started, the Japanese were very, very helpful of everyone, but then they stopped. And one of the biggest reasons why was that the North Americans, in their, you know, according to them, that they felt that they felt too entitled to the help, that they were demanding that the help come to them versus asking it and appreciating what they have, or even doing the work on their own to find out the information. I mean, and you can see that. I mean, a lot of people are just like, feed me this information because I'm either I don't want to, I'm too lazy.
I pay my $15 a month.
Yeah.
I hate.
Right, I pay my $15 a month. Yeah.
And so I can definitely see, you know, there is that kind of problem. I mean, that's not to say all Americans are like that, or all Europeans are like that, or all Japanese are like that. I mean, it depends on who you run into, obviously. I mean, sometimes I can't learn unless I actually do it, or if I see it a few times and be like, oh, okay, that's how it's done. I mean, I'm a more visual learner. But there are other things where I just I do my own research. And if I still don't get it, I ask. But I know some people are just kind of like, kind of like, well, you gotta do something. You can't always sit on your fucking ass.
Those are the people that want to be carried for everything.
Right. that sense of entitlement, and I think that maybe that's something that bleeds through with anybody and everybody, in society, within gaming, or not even just in gaming, within life in general. You're always going to have people that want something for nothing. And what's going to be any different between wanting something for nothing outside of your game life and in it? It doesn't matter. There's no differentiation to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I guess that kind of begs the question, is there a difference between the way that Americans play, or the way that Western members of Western society play, versus a collectivist society like Japan has?
But see, to me, that's still even different, because you can't just take Westerners and just, put them all the same, because we're a gigantic melting pot, and each different culture has a different way of being, from Spanish to, Caucasian to Black, to just no matter where you go, there's a different mindset when you go into anything in life and in game, and your culture has a lot to do with it. So yeah, I think the Japanese culture has a lot to do with the way they look at games, but I also think that the way Westerners are viewed sometimes is skewered, because there's a crap ton of us that are not those bad people, that we're good. We enjoy the game. We play it for the camaraderie, for the fun. We want to learn. We'll spend time looking for things and finding how to do things on our own without having to bug everyone and want the answers handed to us.
Okay, the one thing I will bring up is, there is an Eastern mentality towards Westerners, because this is going back to like the NES days when, certain games wasn't brought over here because they thought it was going to be too difficult for us. So I wonder if that's some of the things he's going through right there, is that mentality that they have towards us, that we have to have everything dumbed down in a sense.
Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of truth to what you said, actually. I mean, there's a lot of American versions of games that have the difficulty turned down. Mega Man 2 is a perfect example.
Naruto.
Yeah. But it may not just be a culture thing. It may just be society, like worldwide society changing as a whole. And this is something that actually Yoshi P addresses again in this article. And he starts talking about basically the time of play. Just not even looking at just a skill barrier, but is how much time is a person actually going to play. And basically quotes World of Warcraft, when that came out, the process turned into, in MMO development, how many hours is a player going to play? And that's how they plan their content and their dev cycles and the difficulty. It's based around these small little bursts of chunks. Now, do you think that because people are playing less in terms of long marathon gaming sessions, that could be tied to the skill he's talking about?
I think definitely. I mean, sorry, go ahead, Kasumi.
No, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. A lot of us are getting older. I mean, that's just a matter of fact. And the younger gamers who do play, they have notably shorter attention spans. I mean, who can blame them? We have the internet. We have smartphones. We are always having to be connected to something, to anyone. I mean, it's just a known fact that our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I mean, because of this. And as older gamers, we have things that we have to take care of. We have families, we have jobs, other obligations to take care of. And so it's really hard to be like, hey, I'm going to sit here the entire weekend and play nothing but this game. I honestly can't do that. I have work, I have school, I have other things to take care of. So am I spending less time gaming? Hell yeah. Am I beating myself up over it? No, because I'm an adult now and I have other things to do.
Absolutely.
I do want to bring something up here that you did mention about, us having the internet and cell phone use and stuff like that. The thing is, the Japanese and people over there have the same dependencies that we do. I mean, you can just look at the stereotypical like otaku. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry, but otaku. Yes, I'm sorry, but they do have the same technology we do, and sometimes they got better technology than we do. So saying that, we're dependent on our on our internets and smartphones is not relevant, I guess.
The difference is how they utilize it. From my understanding, and Siri, maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, is that they have a sense of appropriate usage and not appropriate usage. So
using your cell phone on the train is bad juju.
Yes, it is bad juju. So
talking on the phone at least.
Yeah, I mean, but you in cities, I mean, you see that it's just normal for everyone to be on their phone. But in Japan, I mean, they have, instances where you are putting your phone away because you want to be respectful to those around you.
Well, I put it away on a sub in New York, but it's not for being respectful. That's the smart thing to do. You want to know what's going on around you.
Because that motherfucker over there,
right?
He got that bad look in his eye. You ain't trying to get none of that.
Yeah,
you can't mean mug somebody if you're on the phone.
Exactly.
Nope. No, I live in Albuquerque. I know what you're talking about. I got it.
So I guess going back to that whole truncated playtime thing, in terms of design, is that a good way to be going right now with this game? Sorry. One of the concerns is that I'm seeing a lot of flack on Twitter and Reddit of people, because they have this glut of time to play, they've burned through most of what Heavensward has to offer. Then there's people like us who have actual real-life responsibilities or just not the same amount of playtime, and we're struggling to catch up. Is there a better way to balance that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I understand some people don't have that time, okay? And I am one of those people. I am a married mother of two. I game accordingly. My family comes first. Now, I will say this. When Heavensward was coming out, my kids went to hang out at their aunt's house since it was summer vacation time. And I had that planned out for the first few days to be able to get through everything without distractions, knowing my kids were okay and having fun. I know everybody can't do that, but there are different times. You can. Your responsibilities comes first, but you still can, but I don't think you should down anybody who isn't able to get through the content as quickly as someone else can, because like you said, you don't know what that person's doing in their life, and you got to prioritize.
Well, I'm not even talking about downing. I'm more talking about in terms of content. Is this smaller, more digestible form of content healthy in the long term of the game when you have people who are tearing through it at the speed at which people are doing now?
No, it creates a humongous divide, because then you get these people that blaze through it, and those people usually are the ones that have more of an elitist attitude. Like, oh, why you're not geared enough to do this, and they kick you, and they become very impatient with somebody who's just coming in. They even get mad if you're watching a cutscene. It's your first time there, and you pay for your game. Enjoy your game. Watch your damn cutscene. So it's so two-sided.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard because... Sorry, go ahead, Demi.
Oh, I was going to say, you have people that really work through it at different paces, and, they came out with, the pace of it, to me, is even a little much. And, I have my things that I do, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've only got one kid. I have my time, I do a lot of things. I go out of the house a lot, but I play pretty much every day. And when Savage came out, I couldn't even run it. I was behind on the story, and I felt like I couldn't keep up with the pace in which they're releasing new content. And I think that we talked about this in one of our previous podcasts. If not, I must have talked to somebody in my free company about it, that I felt really like I couldn't keep up. And
did you feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, I felt really overwhelmed, and I felt, because I run my free company, I've got my officers and stuff, and we run it kind of as a collective group of people. But when it comes down to it, I'm the one whose name is in that top slot. And I felt like I had this enormous amount of pressure on me to forego, like, the other things that I had in my life, I spend a lot of time at the gym. I'm trying to work on my health issues and stuff by exercising and living right and getting my kid out of the house. And there was this pressure of when I got online after spending the day out of the house of all these people who had far surpassed the person who's in a leadership position in their free company because they had the time to sit there. And it wasn't a good feeling. I didn't feel like I should feel like that about a video game.
No, and I think the pressure goes both ways. It goes for people who are trying to catch up to content or trying to catch up to where everybody else is, and then the people that get on and try to blaze through things in a way, the pressure is different. We want to get there because we don't want to feel like we're behind. We want to feel like we're up there, at pace with the best of the best. And
right.
it's two different pressures. Neither of them feel good. I mean, I went through, and I think 3 days I got to 60 maybe, but I enjoyed all the cutscenes. I enjoyed everything. My husband didn't like 2 because he didn't care for the cutscenes. He was like leaning over and looking at my cutscenes while he kept going. But it is the same pressure for people who are just going through it quickly. They want to stay on top. They don't want to fall back.
Joe, how about you?
What was that? Well, I have like a really weird work schedule, so like I'm available during the day, so I have to that's my only free time. So I have to fill in what I need to do first. So I have to set my priorities just like everybody else does who's an adult. And the thing is about this game, though, like you guys said, you feel pressured that I got to cap my esoterics. I got to, get my Alexander jobs for the week. But sometimes you just don't have time for it when other things pop up.
Yep, that's true.
Or you can't get online because your phone decides to crap out on you and your OTK protected.
I wish you could use my code.
The three of you have all basically started talking about actually one of the next things I wanted to talk about. And that was basically just gearing your care. It's like, there's so much to do right now. Like you said, we all are adults. We all have time. I am not a crazy player who plays all day. And I felt all that pressure to catch up. I was behind forever. And now that I'm finally at that magical 170, 172 area, I don't know what to do with my character anymore. It's like,
right?
Well, you have your Alex drops, you have your esoterics drops, you have law, you have the domain upgrades. There's so much to do. Like, I almost feel like I don't have time to play any other class because my week has been devoted to gearing myself up to a point where I could do content with my free company.
Well, can I ask a random question?
Sure.
Did anybody else, since we're talking about gear, did anybody else feel like a twinge of pain when they went through a dungeon, and if you went through the whole relic quest and everything for your weapon, and a dungeon freaking weapon got better than your own weapon? After all of the work. And I don't know how many of you ran it at first with the Atmos. At first,
yes,
when it was
at the 1% drop rate,
exactly, when it was not easy to get, and the books and everything else, going through all these darn changes, and then it's never ending. And I understand that's how it is for MMOs, but that was painful.
It was. It still burns me.
Honestly, I came from WoW, so every expansion basically negated all your old gear, so I was used to it.
It's I know it does, and it bothered me to all hell, because I went through it with several of my characters, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that crap no more.
I got lucky and switched classes to one of the new ones, so I'm leveling my old main right now, so I haven't felt that pain yet of replacing my Nexus. So I'll tell you in about a week or so.
No, that's where my pain came in, trying to get caught up with everybody. Is I decided I love astrologian, and I wanted to do this class, but I was trying to rush as much as I can to get through to 60, because I wanted to be up with everybody else who decided to use their main job class as one of the old ones.
So you two are actually...
I give credit to the people that took the new classes and rocked them like that. Okay, because you guys were learning something that no one else knew. You didn't have information to go back on and, other people that you can kind of study to learn. You guys had to like pave that ground and make that. And I have a lot of respect for the people that made that choice, that had the option of going from 50 to 60 and decided, I'm going to do something new from 30 to 60.
Right, me too. I still sat down and tried Astrologian the other day, and I was thinking about Kasumi, and I was like, oh man, like all the things that you've talked about every time we've gotten on and we've recorded, the learning curve is very steep. And, when I get in now and I see an awesome Astrologian, like I always think about you, like all the things you talk about it in so much detail and you've studied it to make sure that you're really good at it. There's props for that. But at the same time, it kind of sucks because it set you guys back from the story because you weren't able to progress at the same rate that like I did when I came at 50 because you had to sit down and grind a new class from 30 to 50 before you could even finish the story with that class. And it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. And I know that they designed everything to purposefully, to be the way that it is. But I feel like it's stratified the community, and there's really not a lot of cohesiveness anymore in the stages where everybody's at. And it kind of bums me out because there's no quality there anymore amongst the ranks. Everybody's so spread out, and it's really hard for people to do things together like they used to.
Yeah, I very much feel the same way. I was far behind for a while. And Joe and Kasumi, I want to ask you two, because you two are basically the type of people that I'm talking about. You chose to do the alternate classes. And Joe, I know you're working on your monk now, and I don't know about Kasumi whether you want to go back and play your other class. But now that your class that you're playing is right about that level where you can now run endgame content, Alexander and all that, what are your thoughts on gearing up another class?
I don't know if that's...
It's really off-putting. Like, I have to prioritize my Dark Knight, because it's my main class. So I'm like, all right, I have to get my 4 Alex drops. I have to cap my esoterics because you don't get esoterics on your lower level classes. So then I literally capped esoterics this morning, and I got my last Alexander drop yesterday and resets tonight. So it's like I got to run one expert and one hard roulette and one leveling roulette today on my monk, and I'm not even 52 yet.
It's kind of daunting. I'm looking at my scholar and I'm thinking I can't do you yet. I have to get my main to whatever, to run Savage and to do all this other stuff. I was so close to capping my esoterics this week, but I can't get back on to But I'm at 170 now, and I can start running Alexander, but I don't want to go in because I still got 4 green pieces on my character that I need to change out.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I feel like just go in. You'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Hey, you'll be fine until phase 3 of turn 4.
Hey guys.
I feel opposite. Hi.
It's me, Orphan.
Hi, Oro.
Hey, Oro.
Hello.
I would like to say that I think me and Kala are both kind of like foresaw things going that way, as if like trying to level up one of the alternative classes rather than getting to 60 first was a less important thing, because I think it was kind of like a conscious decision. Hey, get into 60 first so that we can do like all the new content and help everyone out in the FC is probably the best path to take. And that's kind of like how we approached it. We just decided, well, we'll just work on we'll experiment with the other classes later, because right now, if we don't get to 60, then we're going to get left behind. So I kind of feel like that was the mentality that we had when we first started the expansion. I wanted to see if Calara felt the same, but I'm pretty sure she did.
Well, I mean, I started off with Machinist and Dark Knight, and I was really excited. I really, really enjoyed Dark Knight, and I got to, I think, 37 before I kind of went, I'm actually really enjoying the storyline. I'm going to play with the storyline more. And I just didn't stop because I was more interested in the storyline. By the time I got to 60, I was like, oh, well, there we go. So it wasn't really a conscious decision, though I was kind of thinking that it would have been nice if I had gotten my tank, but because of our current makeup in our free company, I'm happy that I didn't focus on it because need some deeps, yo.
See, with me, I started with Machinist and I was having fun, but I was like, hey, these guys are progressing through the content pretty fast, and I'm fiddling around with Machinist here. I need to start working on something that'll catch me up with everybody else first. And I kind of just saw where everything was going. I was like, well, if I don't catch up, then I'm gonna get left behind. At least that's what I was thinking. And plus, everyone was talking about the story and stuff, like how good it was, and it just
that too.
Yeah, and that pressure you feel like, and this hurried feeling of being like, all right, well, I gotta get there too because they're gonna spoil it for me, and this epic thing is gonna happen, and I'm gonna know about it, and it's gonna suck because I spent all this time waiting, all this time.
You guys killed me because I couldn't say anything. I was just to be nice and be quiet and not spoil things for anyone.
I can speak.
Since I'm one of the leaders in my FC. It's me and a group of friends that made it. I feel, I have to get up there quickly to be able to help other people run through things.
Somebody already. Right, and I didn't do that, and I'm still not where I was before, and there's still a lot of people in my company that are far ahead of me with the crafting, with the gathering, with having other classes at 60. They've got their warrior, they've got a DPS, they've got their healer, they've got all their gathering, they've got all their crafting.
Shit, how'd they get that many days?
I don't even know.
Rayo.
At Signal, they have their ways of doing it. They use the challenge logs, they use the daily missions, they do levies, I get it, and I know that they play more than I do, but at the same time, I feel like I'm I don't, I'm supposed to be the guru and the grandmaster, and then I'm over here asking them. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do right now. You've already done this, so why don't you tell me?
I mean, that's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's a bummer.
Well, that's all it really is. It's just they have more time to play. If it wasn't this expansion, I'm sure they would be progressing in other areas. I mean, there was early access, and people probably took off from work and just spent all day, 24 hours a day. I mean, the high level free companies cleared all the content as quickly as possible. It's just people pushing themselves to get as far as they can in the content. Now it's going to happen regardless. It just depends on how much time and dedication you have to actually play the game, which is why I don't feel bad. I play when I have time to play. And if I'm behind, well, then guys, I'll just work on my stuff at my own pace. I'm not going to be pressed or whatever. The only thing I had egging me on was Calara telling me that, oh, hey, the story is getting really good and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, let me go see what the story's about. And then Siri's like, oh, man, you guys all know what's going on and I don't know what's going on. So now I got to do the story too. I mean, that's probably the only thing. And it didn't have anything to do with people with the kind of pressure it is from not being as knowledgeable as other people about jobs and having particular skills and things. I feel like if you stress out too much about that, then you're not gonna have fun playing the game.
See, I'm struggling trying to get my scholar up. I mean, my scholar just dinged at 57. And I play maybe 1 or 2 days I get to play the scholar, and then the rest of the time is filled with getting my Alexander drops and trying to get my monk up. My monk's level's 185, and I feel like it needs to get higher and higher.
Yeah, I just hit
Oh my
187
God.
today.
I hit
Oh,
186.
congrats.
How did my eye level get higher than yours?
Exactly, because I'm torn between. I'm like trying to do other things because right now we don't have a 60 healer in my free company, and that's causing a problem since we are a very very small FC. So I said, okay, I need to get my healer up. I didn't want to start with Astrologian. I just wanted to continue with my Scholar and get it done. And I'm just trying to get all my drops, and it's mind blowing. I hate going through Alexander constantly, and I like perpetually roll a 7 and a 9.
Oh man, last Wednesday, first day I got to play after reset, I got 320 esoterics just from Alexander that day.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's usually where I get them all. I don't have to do the expert roulette.
Exactly.
Just from running that, you don't even have to. I do the roulettes. I do it just for I do the high level and all the other things for my Scholar for the XP. But I get all my esoterics just from running freaking Alexander, because you're going to run each one at least 5 to 6 times if you're lucky.
Easily.
You know what? Can I just make you guys angry at me? I'm sorry, but the most I've ever run them is twice. And
I hate you.
I'm sorry.
And I got
my Alexander drops like immediately last week. I didn't have any trouble at all, so I'm just sitting back relaxing.
The first time I ran A4, I got lucky. I had a good group, and that was the very first time I ever did it. Ran it, did it quickly. Second time I ran it, got a drop. Didn't wipe or nothing. And now I go into it, and people have had experience on it, and they come in and they're
get it together.
fucking it up.
Yeah, you don't even see a bonus, and then you're wiping like before the first arm dies or the first leg dies, and you're like,
If I don't see a cutscene being viewed and it doesn't tell me that there's a bonus, you are assuming that everybody knows their role and knows what the hell to do. So when you
because they've
walk
done
in,
it at least once.
yeah, and you wipe, you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, I've been having trouble with after I started doing Alexander, I started having trouble with I think floor 2. Like I couldn't grasp it well, and I couldn't coordinate because I would go into Duty Finder and try to do it. And I was fine with my own free company, but trying to coordinate all that crap with random players just wasn't working out, and I got frustrated.
It's tough.
I raged.
You're fighting
That's
for
the
hate on
only way I
which
do
group?
it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll go in and the other tank is pulling everything, and I'm like, so are you tanking everything? And he's like,
Yeah. ...
So it's the tank pissing contest.
Well,
Yes,
he's like,
yes.
no. And it's like, okay, well, why are you pulling everything if you're not pulling
Let me
everything?
have half the mob.
I think that goes back to the conversation we were having before about just the mentality of the group and just how we're not really thinking as a group. We're thinking about our asses and not everyone else's.
Exactly.
I need this drop, and it's not, well, let's get the group a drop. It's I want my drop. I want my crank. I want my whatever it is that they drop. I want my pony. I want this. I want that. And so I think people get frustrated really easily, and I'm not immune to that because I get frustrated with it too. It's like, come on, dude, get it together. And then at the same time, you really got to work as a group. And I think that maybe what we miss on the American servers is it's get your shit together or get out, instead of, okay, let me sit back, let me teach you how to do this. And if you still can't figure out, then yeah, you got to go. But let me try to help you first. We're not patient people. We want instant gratification. We want it right away. And we have very little respect for other people. And I just try to remind myself what it feels like to me when I say, hey, this is my first run in here. Or
and I've noticed that when we go into Alexander sometimes. I have a lot of respect. Somebody comes up, we know there's someone new, and they say, hi, I'm new. One person will try to explain the fight before we get into it, and then somebody will just run in and pull.
Yep.
You know, then you wonder why we wipe. Hello, idiot. Let them explain it. Take the 2 minutes out to let this person understand it so they can be in sync with us so we don't have to wipe and freaking waste 15, 20 minutes of my time.
Feels like I agree. I wish that people were a little more patient. I wish that I was a little more patient, and it's something that I've been working on, trying to help people. And oddly enough, since I stopped eating gluten, I'm a lot more chill. And I've been noticing that I've been doing things, the harder runs, and we've been getting through them a lot more smoothly, and everybody's happy because somebody's like, oh, I don't know why I did that. Shit, I screwed up. And everybody's like, oh, that's cool. Shit happens. And then you keep on going. And eventually, you just have enough RNG that you get it. And I wish that was more common in duty.
When people do things wrong on my runs, I beat them up. And I take all their milk money.
Aw.
And I set their houses on fire. That's what I do.
You're a horrible man, sir.
Huh? What? What?
Set my house on fire. Please, I just want it.
I don't know. You're in my group. You better watch your house.
I don't know. What server are you guys on?
Excalibur.
Oh, so regretfully said.
Well, as of late, yes, so regretfully said.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
shall
So I
we?
was having problems on Sargetanus.
Oh,
Server sounds fun.
Come over to Cactar. Everybody come over to Cactar. Y'all can be part of my FC. You can hang out. We have a really good time. The community's still crap, but you know, maybe if we do a takeover, everything will be good.
I mean,
That's awesome.
I'm on a tiny server, but I love my server, and I've managed to convince all of my real life awesome friends to join the game.
So do you have your
Play with
Twintania
me.
mount then?
I do.
I only have 5 feathers because when I told my friends to play, I didn't necessarily give them a code, which I probably should
Oh
have.
no.
Right? Me?
That was the
Bum,
dumbest
bum,
thing.
bum.
So now, like, I logged on, like, super excited about this mount. My husband was next to me, and he's on his PC, and he's like, oh, look at the mount. You know, kids are doing what they got to do. I get on just to see if I have the mount. And look, I have 5 feathers, and I run over there.
And fist
and I'm
bump.
like, yeah, I got a fist bump. I need, like, more people. This fist bump is useless. I was so heartbroken.
I didn't get anything, so at least you got fist bump. I can't even fist bump somebody. Somebody fist
No.
bumps, and I can
See,
wave at them like a
I
moron.
am one of those people that I am a minion and a mount monster. I love
I
to have
know
them
you
all,
are.
and it drives me
Why
crazy
don't you
to
tell
see
them
that
how many
mount.
minions you have? And I can. You guys know how many minions she has? She has
How many?
I have 94, I believe.
Holy
Wait, are there 94 in the game?
What?
Oh, there are way more. I still have a lot more to get.
I've got
Where did all
like
those
20.
minions come from? You made some of those up.
Yeah, you had to.
You created some.
No, you see, my kids even know that I love minions. So for my birthday in March, they told my husband that they wanted to get me in-game minions. So they went on to the mod station and they brought me every minion that was available to buy, and they also
my
bought me
goodness.
the mount. And that was a birthday gift for my kids.
Oh,
That's an
so
awesome
sweet.
gift.
That is super sweet.
They're awesome. So, and I mean, if I can, I do want to say happy birthday to my hubby. That's my main tank. Oh, he said thank you.
Oh yeah.
Oh
No.
yeah.
Hey,
Happy
you know
birthday.
what? You know what? A couple that games together stays together. I'm
That
just
is
saying.
what I
Years going
always
strong.
say. We sit side by side, and I only dabbled in tanking to, as one of our, I've been told plenty of times, in order to understand what someone else
Because I
is going
forced
through,
you
do it.
to.
No, but and you know what? It was actually one of the best things I did, because I got to see things from a completely different perspective. I think, you know, when you play one class, like I was just kind of stuck in DPS, and I knew that, and I didn't understand why this tank is doing this, and what an idiot, and you know, you get mad, and I went into healing because I just didn't understand why the hell a healer couldn't keep me up during this part. Then I understood, oh crap, this is an oh crap moment where you save oh shit heals. And then I started tanking and I'm like, okay, there are some idiots out there and this is not as easy as it looks.
No, it's really not.
Oh. Well,
So
thing I told you, you know, you do it all, and then you know it all. You know, you really learn everything. Or
I definitely think it brings a better understanding of the game if you know, even if you don't main it, get to a level where you can at least understand where they're going through to kind of know. Like my husband mains as a tank, but he has a ninja, he has a healer, he has a black mage, he dabbles in all the different classes. So, you know, he understands when he pulls something, he knows, okay, I need to make sure I stay within my healer range. I need to make sure I keep this open for my monks and keep, you know, he has all this running through his mind. And I didn't realize just how much a tank has to think about when they're doing this as far as positioning and everything.
I mean, all classes have a lot to think about. I mean, hell, even crafters have a lot to think about.
Yes, they do.
Just rotations and just gearing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I just fell asleep. Because that's what seems to happen every time I try to craft.
That actually answers my question, because I was going to ask, who here has broken their crafter past 50?
Not I.
Not I.
Oh.
Not I.
I got mine to 10. Is that
I am not a grandmaster of the land, but I am or the hand, but I am a provider of the realm, and awesome. I'm still pretty proud of that. Pretty proud to this day. I'm not very good at crafting, but I did it, and I don't like it, but I did it. So, you know.
I avoid it like the Black Plague.
It's rough. And apparently, from everything I'm reading everywhere, it's gotten rougher.
Yeah, I have one person in my free company who, yeah, he's extremely dear and very old friend of mine's, and his thing is crafting. He really, really like has it down to science. He knows exactly what to do, how to do it, and he had all his crafters the best it could possibly be. And he was struggling. He was like, "This is bullshit."
Well, yeah,
made it worse.
We have someone like that in our group, and I actually sat down and talked to him. I was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on? Like, what is the problem with crafting?" And then he broke down this long stream of information that I tried to grasp. I took like a little note here and there.
Did it sound like Japanese to you?
Well, it kind of, because he was talking about how there are scripts now, and the biggest hurdle is like 2-star crafting. That is your big hurdle.
Yes.
And apparently, from what he tried to explain to me, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it's that Yoshida wanted to make it so that people didn't need to be an Omnicrafter.
But they messed that up.
And now you have to be a gatherer and crafter, because if you're not, all you're doing is you're throwing money at the problem until you get it done.
And now that's exactly what I've done a little bit of it, and from what I've heard with our completionists in my free company, you know, my buddies, they are having a really hard time with it, and I only know one person who has gotten it all the way up to 60 for everything. Because it's just too much.
Yeah. Well, I've seen some recommendations on how to get to 60, like high-quality Grand Company turn-ins, and then a cheap grinding material, then leaves, and then vendors. But that only gets you to 60s. And the problem is, like, once you get to 60, that's where crafting begins.
That's exactly what he was telling me. Like, he tells me, you know, I know you hate, your, gathering and stuff. He's like, but I need you to hop on your miner and start leveling and start bringing things in. And they're worried about also the airships and repairing it, and the prices are skyrocketing for things. He was like, get on your miner, go get me what I need. So
what I was told was that in order to craft one specific item, and he gave me the item, I remember, he needed something that required a script which gave a gatherer a buff to get a % chance to get for him to get access to craft this.
Yes.
Now, in theory, you can buy that item off the market board.
How much is it?
Yeah, you're basically paying your left leg for that. So if you don't have deep pockets to start, he's told me that it's almost impossible to really get in there. Yeah,
my friend was complaining about the same thing, basically, and he sits on anywhere from 30 to 50 mil. And he's like, yeah, I'm not spending half of that just to get this one thing. I can't do that.
Now,
So-
the good thing. Oh, go ahead, Goro. Go ahead.
So I believe that what Yoshida was trying to do was trying to make it so that the gatherers and crafters would rely on each other more. And I'm not sure what exactly the meta is right now. It feels like that a lot of people are having trouble because they're the first ones doing this. Is that could that be the issue? Because I feel like if more people started to get up there, then the prices of things will level out, and then you would actually have a marketplace where the gatherers and crafters could interact more without it having a cost an arm and a leg.
Well, yeah,
'Cause that's how I'm feeling the way that it's supposed to go.
that is how it went. But of course, then you have the nosedive. And I mean, before you could sell things for a decent coin. I mean, if you put enough work into it, then yeah. But now, I mean, or then before patch 3.0, you had people who could do everything. And so things plummeted in price where they were selling for below the recommended NPC price. And it's like ridiculous.
1 gil.
Yeah, 1 gil. Like, why would you collect 99 of this only to sell it for 1 fucking gil? Like,
Because they're asshats.
like
Yeah,
really? That it
because
just
they're
blows my fucking
stupid.
mind. It's like, why do it? But hey,
It's one of the reasons why I don't want to do crafting, because it will piss me off to no end for me to take out of my time to do that, to expect to be able to make something off of it, and then I don't. I don't have a lot of time to sit here. You know, I put my kids to bed, I'm on a clock to be able to have some me time and some fun time. And I have to be a responsible adult. I can't stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning doing this. So I'm not going to waste my time to then turn around and see some fucking ass
Rocks.
hat, turn around and put things up for 1 gil.
Or
and
spend
blow
your
me
time
out
like
the water.
slamming
That'll
rocks.
just
Yeah.
piss me off.
Right.
mhm.
I
It-
leveled
it-
to
it
50
just-
to make dyes and glamour crystals.
yeah.
You know,
Oh.
the only suggestion that I have on that is yeah, you know, it's beneficial if you really enjoy it, and if you don't really enjoy it, it's decent enough to level it up for your own personal use so that you can make your own glamours, so that you don't have to spend the kind of money that you have been on obtaining these things that you want. And that, for me, that's why I do it, is because I do it for personal. I don't do it for money. I make plenty of fine money running dungeons.
Yeah, the game gives you a
Yep.
crap ton of money. Like, I'm sitting on more money than I ever made in a long time.
I mean,
Right?
my retainer is pretty good. They bring back pretty good things sometimes, except when they're
Not mine.
in the mood of being a painter. and
Fish?
bring you nothing but freaking paint and stupid fish.
Or
Besides
a roof.
that, I make
You get
most
a
of my
roof
money off my
sometimes.
retainer.
Where did they get
Or,
the roof from?
I don't know.
The other words.
Some failed free
Sweet
company.
cream.
They
Building
found the
roofs on
ghetto
people's
part of
houses.
Eorzea and just started ripping it off.
I brought you some animal wax. Thanks, dude.
I
Thanks.
feel really concerned when they give me a weapon from Garuda, and it's like, how did you get this?
Well, they
Where-
partnered up with the other retainers and they like did a duty finder.
But then, but
Apparently.
they're like half naked. Like sometimes, like before, I didn't have enough gear, so I just put them in whatever. And it's like, you would technically die in that gear. I hope that you partied with someone who can carry you, because you're gonna die.
I would hope so, because in my mind, every retainer is a half-naked fisherman.
Exactly.
Well, they were all fighting Garuda's retainer.
Oh, yeah.
There
One
you
of the
go.
sis Charada. Charada.
No, it's one of the plumes.
There you go.
I honestly think that part of the problem. Well, okay, I'm not going to say that I know a lot about this because I gave up on crafting a long time ago, but I feel like it could be okay if you didn't try to be a completionist and get every craft to 60.
But
I
that's
think-
so hard.
You
I
don't.
mean, most
every
people
craft
that
is
start
60, you
crafting have a
do it.
mentality, a certain mentality that most of those people are completionists. You know, they want to see every achievement. They want to see every single class and every single thing up to, 50, well, 60 now. So it's kind of hard. If you're one of those people, that's impossible.
But that's
Well-
just it. Yoshida made all these changes to support only having to have one craft to 60 or a limited number of them to 60. So if you go outside of that, then of course there's probably going to be problems with how things are working out.
But I mean, there's
And
still
mine.
problems
It didn't
anyway.
work out that way. It didn't
Well,
ever
luckily,
work that way.
there is
Still
a
have
fix
to
that
have
is.
everything.
Well, there's supposedly
Go ahead.
at least the start of a fix coming. On the forums, Exos basically responded to a thread and said, "Greetings, thank you all for the feedback regarding acquisition rates of red scripts. Among the various feedback we've been collecting regarding red scripts, we're also aware that players feel the amount of red gatherers and crafters scripts earned is too low, which leads the amount of work to obtain them to be higher than it should be. We're planning to make adjustments in this week's hotfix."
So tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. So please hang in there a bit longer. So maybe this whole conversation we're having is going to be somewhat diminished tomorrow morning.
I hope so for all those people.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel bad for my friends who have to sit there and bang out 112 of this one item just so he can make himself a piece of food.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that are just getting their crafters up and haven't even gotten any of their main things up to 60 because of that. And they hit that stump and they were just like, this is stupid. And they'll log out and then come back like an hour later and get back on it.
Go ahead. I can't. I've barely even touched it. I've barely even touched crafting. I've barely even touched gathering because I don't have the patience just to sit there and virtually hack at a bush.
I will be yelling at my monitor and my kids will be coming in asking me, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, my botanist has been like 41 for like 8 months.
I don't know, I want to do it, but I have not had the time, so it's been really frustrating reading all of this, and I'm hoping that it gets fixed.
Yeah,
Mine is close to 60. I'm excited, but I'm kind of wanting to level up Summoner and Dark and Machinist.
Me not. Do it.
I gotta get my Dark Knight once my Scholar is up to 60. That's where I'm going.
Oh, yeah. No, you know what? Summoner, I have a level 50 Summoner, and I've had the opportunity to limit break 3 a few times with it, and it has absolutely made me fall in love with the class all over again. And I'm trying to get my tank first because that's what we need more. After that, though, it's all about Scholar and Summoner.
I'm kind of jelly because I don't really like the Monk's 3-bar limit break.
Isn't that the Kamehameha?
No, it's the same thing. It's the Final Heaven.
Final Heaven?
Exactly.
Aww.
You don't like Final Heaven?
Dark Knight. I've never got to do Dark Knight's level 3 yet.
How could you not like Final Heaven?
I got to do Astrologian's level 2 in a dungeon, and it was pretty awesome.
It's not that I don't like Final Heaven, it's just that it's not new.
That's true.
It doesn't fit us.
It doesn't fit a monk? What?
No, I don't like it.
Why wouldn't Final Heaven fit a monk?
It derives from Tifa, so it should fit.
Dolphin
Heaven is supposed to fit
Dolphin
monk.
Blow.
What are you
Have
talking
the
about?
fucking tiger come out and just swallow it.
No, you either
There
do
you go,
Final Heaven
tiger.
or you either do Final Heaven or a suplex. Those are the only two you can have as a monk. So don't.
They
I
should have
would
been
kill.
suplex. It
I would
should
be a
have been
monk in a
suplex.
fucking heartbeat if I could suplex somebody.
I haven't even seen the White Mage. I haven't even limit break 3. I haven't even seen it. I don't
Me
even know what
neither.
it is.
Wait, the White
Is
Mage
it
one is the
still
same.
the same as it was?
Yeah.
White Mage is the
It's,
same.
Yeah, Heat
one
Wings
where
of
it
Healing,
raises
whatever.
everybody, right?
Yeah.
I haven't even had to use it yet. Oh. I wish it was different. They said it was going to be different, and it wasn't.
You
Yeah, I
guys.
think there's 3, like, one of the tanks has the same one the tanks were
Paladin's
using
the
before
same.
him. Monks got the same one, and White Mages got the same one.
And Black
yeah.
Mages. And Black Mages got
Yeah, Black
got
Mages
the
get-
same one.
Yeah. But as a healer, I've never got to see them anyway, so...
Yeah. I never get to cast mine as a scholar.
That's,
Never get
that's
to
like
use mine as a Dark Knight.
level up.
And you never will.
I probably never will.
Exactly. Go back and do Ultima again, then you'll have to.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do Ultima then.
I actually got to do mine in a dungeon, and it went over... It was pretty cool. It was just level 2, though, but it's still pretty cool.
So yeah, so moving on.
I'll do Final Heaven all day long. I don't care what you
Oh.
guys say.
I've done
Punch, 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 punch.
No, do it.
Fucking great.
Seriously, no, please, punch cat. Punch cat. That's all I have to say is a Makote monk is the best thing ever because they are a cat that punches things. I don't care if it's the same thing.
So it's like they're clawing at the enemy like meow.
Yeah. Yes, still. No, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
Flowing fists of doom.
I just want to ask this now, because of the different limit breaks, is Is it just me, or do people actually are afraid to use them now?
I don't use mine, but that's because I heal. So
Same. But I have noticed people have been very slow to pull the trigger on them.
Maybe because they're not sure of if it'll kill.
And that's the one thing that I think people kind of lose sight of, is that limit breaks aren't only for flashy kill. Like, you can push phases with that shit.
That's true.
You can clear ads in a dungeon to kind of make a boss go faster, but people are insistent on, no, I want that last 3%. This is going to be the killing blow.
People forget that you can cheese some mechanics with a tank one. Just like totally avoid that was nothing.
That's
that last moment when everybody is dead and all you have is the white mage, and they bust down and they get on their knees and they're praying to the 12, and all of a sudden everybody's alive again. That never happens, so.
No, I've only seen bards do that, sorry.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Bard limit break!
Oh, I did see a bard level 3 one. It was kind of awesome.
Dude, the Bard level 3 is pretty cool. It is.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's so pretty.
Finally, Bard gets something cool, you know? I mean, they kind of deserve it, especially after all the nerfs.
Oh no, my girlfriend still kind of complains because she's like, oh wait, I can't heal with this. Oh.
Aww.
She's the only bard there that's complaining about that.
Yeah, I feel like bards lost a little bit of utility by not having healing limit break anymore, but...
Well, they kind of asked for it, though. I mean, the Bard...
They did.
I didn't.
Yeah, but that healing limit break used to come through in a pinch. That was awesome.
Right. I had a 50 bard. I didn't ask for it.
Same here.
I don't have a 50 bard, so I didn't ask for it.
My archer's level 9.
Huh?
You can do it.
My archer's 11.
my little archer is at like 15.
Mine's just sitting at 50 and will probably sit there for a long time.
I think 11. Let me see. I think my bard. I don't even have a bard. I'm kidding. Archer is 21, guys. 21, getting up there.
So strong.
I was actually kind of
drink.
I was actually kind of disappointed with how they took bard because I felt like they should have pushed it more towards the support area and then came out with a ranger type job, because I was a ranger in 11 and I'm a
slug shot.
Yeah, it just feels weird to see a bard have all these like slug shot barrage stuff. I don't know.
No, I agree. I liked 1.0 bard where you had the cures, but oh well. Anyway.
The live letter. Send it out. Maybe they'll change it.
I doubt it. It's too far gone.
A lot I hate about Bard. I'm sure to get. Yes, this is true. I wish that they, and I kind of empathize with that. That I wish that they would make the support classes, and I'm going to make up a word here, a little more supporty.
I like that.
It's a good word.
Yeah. They need to be able. If you want them to be a support class, they really should be a support class. Like, did anybody ever play DCU?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Okay, DCU. You had the controller role, the troll.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they constantly fed your battery, and they were an integral role. And I think that they underplay the role of like Bard and Machinist because they say, oh, they're a support role, but basically all they are is a kind of a support role with weak ass DPS.
Well, they don't want to break the Holy Trinity thing, so it's like they just don't want to disrupt that.
They've basically said that no, they're DPS classes, but they just want to give them the ability to support a little bit. They don't want to screw with the way that they've set things up in terms of the duty finder, and they have these specific roles in mind that they set, and they don't have any place for support.
Unfortunately,
classes in that plan of theirs.
I get it, and that's okay. But my argument is, if you're going to tell them they're DPS classes, let them DPS. Don't make them the joke of the MMO.
That's
is it that bad off though in terms of
DPS?
They're not that much farther behind.
I've seen Machinist do ridiculous
But
bursts.
Machinist and
I've seen
Bard
some
both
bards that are
have
pretty damn
great
good.
parses. If the player knows what they're
Know
doing,
how to
and they
use
still
it,
supply the
yeah.
extra, umph to the group.
It's right, Foes Requiem or Ballad.
So not only are you kicking ass, you're making everyone else kick more ass.
They use if they use their class right, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Fair enough. But yeah, so moving on. I did want to throw out a quick community spotlight. I found this awesome blog recently, and I want to share it with everybody. It's eorzeaneats.tumblr.com. That's EORZEAN eats.tumblr. And basically this person is, like we were talking about earlier, a real-life crafter. And as a man who loves to cook and bake, this Tumblr speaks to my goddamn soul. Have any of you seen this before?
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm gonna look at it in a minute.
No,
I'm hungry now.
So basically what they're doing is they're taking culinary recipes within 14 and they're making them in real life. And
That sounds badass.
I don't know why I never thought to do it. Like a lot of the stuff like Lanaustrian toast, it's basically French toast. Sausage torte, that's a real damn cake. Bacon broth, that you're just making a broth. It's all little things that if you know how to cook, you can do it. But here's the best part. There's pictures that go along with it, and they give you the recipe they use so you can recreate it at home.
That's awesome. I'm a big cook. I love cooking, and I love
I'm gonna.
cooking and baking.
I much prefer baking.
I just got diagnosed with celiac disease and I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm gonna stay off that blog because it's just gonna make me angry about all
seriously.
the things that.
I'm looking at cheese risotto. You shouldn't look at that.
Can I make it with weirdo cheese?
Does it melt as well? I don't know.
I probably don't know. It tastes awful. Awful.
So would you put
Alligator salad
sardines
looks
with your
really
deviled
good.
eggs?
Yes.
I'm not going to
I
eat
would
your deviled
totally.
eggs.
Why? They're tasty.
It sounds
I can
gross.
double eggs.
That little bit of
if
salty.
I-
Deviled eggs are delicious.
Deviled
my-
eggs are delicious, but not with sardines.
Cal is
I
not a
can't
fish
seem to
person.
Sardines are
Cook something and not have it taste. Damn it, Latin.
You gotta have some spice in that motherfucker.
Shit,
Bam.
everything I cook, I'm Dominican and I cook like I'm right from the island. I mean, I
Yeah.
can throw down and make some Italian food that'll kick ass, but
Girl,
I
am
have to
from
like
New Mexico.
refrain from using freaking Spanish seasonings. Like I have to keep myself away if I'm making lasagna to not turn it into the Spanish version of it, which is a pastelón.
Yeah, I'm Nicola Winston. I throw in spice into fucking everything. It's just what we do. Fuck it.
Guys, you're missing out because you don't live where I do. You don't have the green chili like I do. Y'all let me know. I will send you some fucking green chili, and that's will transform your life.
I have chilies.
Well, but you don't have Mexican hatch green chili.
I have
I will
an
go to
acre
the
and a
farm
half.
and get it myself.
I have sugar cane growing in my backyard, and that is not a lie.
I will go to.
Oh, we need to make some drinks. Let's go. Oh my god.
What do you think I use half of that for?
This is why
I'll be
I
right
like you.
there. Okay, I'll be right there.
Hey, look, pool, drinks by the pool. You guys are welcome. We'll shoot a show from here.
I'm leaving now. I'll see you in an hour.
Look, I will get all of you guys free tickets to the theme parks.
I love that.
Let's do it.
Don't lie
You
to
get
me.
one for my
Don't
kid?
lie to me.
I'm not. I get free tickets. I've never paid to go to a theme park.
Are you serious?
Why would I
to go to the
pay?
splash park here. Pay to go.
Look, in Florida is a 3-degree separation. Everyone knows someone who knows someone. Okay? And deep down inside, I'm a New Yorker, so I will always know someone to not have to pay.
Fair enough.
Yep. So, I guess it's time to reveal who won the Carbuncle because it's sitting on top of my bookshelf and I want to get rid of it.
Or else you're gonna keep it forever.
I have another one, so I don't want my cats to get to it. Is what it is. I want it out here as soon as possible. So we got a few submissions, and thank you everybody for submitting. There were some great stories. I smiled at a bunch of them. This is the one that we ended up choosing, and that was from Liz. So here it is. Some people like to say that carbuncles are born from hopes and dreams or some shit like that, but I know the truth. Carbuncles are born from the mouths of tanks who eat dirt when they're confronted with a pull too big and the healer on cleric stance. Carbuncles are born from the screams of agony when you hit a pug where the summoner doesn't take their pet off sick while attacking the spiny plume from Garuda and it kills it before the barrier goes up. Carbuncles are born from the ashes of the players who refuse to stack on Titan's ass during upheaval, even after 3 tries and a stack of Echo. They're born from every time you go to farm for gear, only to find it dropped when you're playing as a different class. And of course, the Black Mage with the level 10 Paladin greeds and gets it over your 50 Paladin. This would explain the overpopulation of them.
Holy fucking shit. That explains so fucking much.
That makes sense.
Liz, you fucking nailed it. And I'm so sad because there's so much truth in this goddamn story.
There is.
So we'll be shooting you an email for your address, and then we'll make sure to get that out as soon as possible.
Congrats.
Yay, grats.
So I guess that's pretty much it. So I guess we want to do some wrap up. Why don't we start with Whispering Dawn? Kasumi, you want to start it up? Want shoutouts, Twitters, emails?
I'll let Eric take care of the information for us. So, good night, everybody. Have a fun night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
Adios.
So, Eric, did you want to drop that information?
Yes, you can get a hold of us on the whisperingdawn@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @whisperingdawn, @whispering_dawn, sorry. And I don't understand this part. Sorry, this is my first time reading all of this out loud, and now I see why Kasumi gets tongue-tied sometimes.
I think that's our Redbubble account, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You can get us at redbubble.com/people/whispering dawn. And I would like to send a shout out to my Goblin server, my free company, Ohana, my hubby, and all my friends. And thank you for having us on, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And Demi, do you want to say anything?
Thank you for having us. I had an absolute blast. So, really appreciate you guys taking the time to let us join you tonight.
Thank you for coming. Joe, you want to say something?
I've always wanted to join the podcast, so thanks. I was on TeamSpeak at the right time today. You can find me on Twitter at J0SHIMITSU. I'm very kind of vulgar on there, and you can find like my workout videos and stuff on my Instagram, the same thing. And me and my girlfriend, she also plays, we have a cosplay page. It's facebook.com/AFK cosplay. And we are currently working on Dreadworm Armor of Fending and Dreadworm Gown of Casting. And we'll be wearing that in 3 weeks at PAX Prime in Seattle. So yeah, I'm actually making the Dark Knight sword, which I've never even seen in the game. Does anybody even have that item drop? The Dreadworm Claymore. So I'm actually making a Dreadworm Claymore because I'm not going to be a Paladin or Warrior. Got to be a Dark Knight.
Oro, you got anything you want to say?
For those of you who might have listened to the podcast, you know that I don't get along with my dad so well, but I actually got in contact with him recently. You might have heard of him. His name is Dr. Bitten Quest. And, yeah, he's bringing along his bodyguard, Ray Spannon. My old best friend when I was a kid, Haji.
Okay, he has
also gonna
nothing
be
else
showing
to say.
up.
Goodbye, Oro. You can find us at sequencebreak.com. No, he's not talking anymore. You can email us at podcast@zantensuken.net. I believe our site is undergoing construction right now. Is that correct, Oro?
Bandit is doing really well these days.
Oro.
Sequencebreak.com is currently under a little bit of a construction phase. We're making some changes here and there. We're going to be moving some things over. It'll take a little time, but for now, you can follow us at SBXIV. I think Kala already mentioned that for new episodes, and we'll still have links to those there, and information will still be able to be found. But once we have secretsbreak.com set up, it'll be hopefully better than it is right now.
You can also follow us on iTunes under Sequence Break XIV. You can type in FFXIV or Final Fantasy 14. You can find our podcasts in either key terms. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am Calera, Calaera. And I believe... Wait, Cirician! It's you.
My butt's numb. I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
I'm finished.
All right.
CIRRISIAN. I gotta go massage my ass. Bye.
Bye!
Hakamichi.net. Hakamichi.net is where Johnny Quest is.
Woo, race
Check it out.
gun.
Kill you.
Bye, 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 bye.
I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. Goodbye.